Hello everyone, I am Tushar Gajbhiye from Electronics and today we are going to learn about Docker. Why should we use it and also the demonstration of Docker. So let's dive into it. Let's begin with what is Docker. As I have mentioned, Docker is an open source platform that automates the deployment of applications inside lightweight and portable containers. But what exactly does that mean? Imagine a container as a lightweight, standalone and executable package that includes everything needed to run a piece of software, including the code, runtime, libraries and system tools. Docker containers ensures consistency across different environments, making it easier to develop, test, and to deploy applications. Here you can see the logo of Docker, which is a playful representation of containers, which is a fitting metaphor for Docker in the software world. Just as shipping containers revolutionize the transportation of goods, Docker containers revolutionize the way we package and deliver software. Now let's jump into the art of the matter. How to use Docker? So here are some key points that the perfect reasons to Docker over other architectures. First one is portability. Docker containers can run consistently on any machine that supports Docker, whether it's your deployment laptop, test environment, or a production server. Portability reduces works on my machine problem. Second one is isolation. Containers isolate applications that and their dependencies, ensuring that they don't interfere with each other. This eliminates conflicts and make it easier to manage dependencies. Third is efficiency. Docker containers share the host OS kernel, making them more lightweight than traditional virtual machines. This results in faster startup times and better resource utilization. And the last one is scalability. Docker enables scaling by allowing you to run multiple instances of containers. This flexibility is especially beneficial in microservice architecture. Now let's talk about the common question: what is the difference between the Docker container and the virtual machine? In a nutshell, the virtual machine virtualizes the entire operating system, including the kernel, while Docker containers virtualizes the operating system at the application level. Now let's understand it more deeply. So here is the architecture of both virtual machine and the Docker. Now let's compare it with some key points. First one is resource efficiency. The virtual machine come with their own operating system, which consumes more resources. And the containers share the host operating system's kernel, making them more lightweight and resource efficient. Second is startup time. VM take longer time to start as they boot up an entire OS, but containers start almost instantly since they leverage the host OS. Third is isolation. The VM provides stronger isolations since they can run separate operating system. Containers offer sufficient isolation for most applications but share the host OS kernel. Now let's move to the demonstration part to understand how we can use Docker. So let's begin by downloading the Docker desktop. The Docker desktop is the graphical interface which for managing the images, containers, and the application directly from our machine. To download it, search install Docker desktop on download button. Start the download button. I have already downloaded it, so I will directly show the interface by opening it. Whenever you first time open this, it just look like this. It consists of the images for the containers. Image is nothing but the set of instructions. The images. Here you can see that we can make the containers of the images of Nginx, Ubuntu, and Python. So now we are simply begin with the Ubuntu. For that, we have to just open the CMD. Firstly, check if Docker is successfully installed in our or not. Command Docker version. That Docker desktop 4.23 current version of the Docker. Now, first of all, we have to begin with by giving the credential. Command is Docker login. For pulling the images of the Ubuntu, we have to set the command for take some time. So now we will check if the image successfully pulled on or not. Command is Docker images. There we can see that one uh, image of the Ubuntu is successfully. Just simply run the container, the command docker run. You have simply run the container of the Docker page shows us the container are running. Here you can see that one container is running container ID this, and it is created 8 seconds ago and is running since last 7 seconds. Well, we are going to enter into the root folder of the Ubuntu. The command for container ID, the user path. We are successful. Come inside the root folder. You can see that we are using the Ubuntu command, that is ls for list, that all the folders which are present inside this are present the root folder of the any Ubuntu system. If you want to come out of that, then you have to write the command exit. And if you want to use this container in our future for further use, then we can store it on the Docker desktop by using the commit and the push command. How we can do that? Command is docker commit the container ID, the repository where we want to store the push repository. I have created the repository name as tsg, and you can see that the that the image we have created the image and we have put inside the tsg. So this is how we can use the docker. And now we are going to simply begin with how we can create the virtual network. To create any network using docker, we have the docker network create and the name of the network which you want to create. I am using here eln. Here network successfully created. Let's inspect it using the command docker network inspect. Here you can see that the name of the alien, ID of that network, the subnet IP, and the gateway IP. So this is how we can create the virtual network and the containers using Docker. This is all about the Docker demonstration. Thank you for staying with me.